The deep tech is going to be tough, right? That is, everybody understand it, and it will definitely demand a lot of patience, you know. And during the journey, you will encounter many failures. They are inevitable. So when failures are happening, all you can do is that you can try to fail fast. That will save you money and time. And to do fail fast, you reach out to prototyping, do faster prototyping, utilize, access the infrastructure around you for testing of those POCs, if it is a hardware product, and try to fail fast.
Hi, I'm Sheel Kapoor, CEO of Foundation for Advancing Science and Technology India. We strongly believe at FAST that R&D is critical for sustaining economic development. Towards that, we like to talk to CEOs of organizations which have actually driven innovation in the country and made substantial impact. And we are fortunate to have with us today Mr. Manoj Meena, who is the CEO for Atomberg Technologies. Atomberg Technologies has had a significant growth in the last many years, and they started with 500 customers in 2015, and they have gone to almost like 15 million users today. They've driven significant energy efficiency improvements, and we'll be talking a lot about how he has leveraged innovation in his company to drive that agenda. Welcome to Deep Innovation Dialogues.
Thank you, Sheel, for inviting me.
Your journey at Atomberg Technology has been brilliant. When I look at how you started off and where you are today, but let's rewind a bit and then talk about your initial journey, right? Tell me a little bit about your days on before Atomberg Technologies. What took you towards Atomberg Technologies?
The excitement around entrepreneurship came very late. The initial excitement was, or passion, I would say, was around creating and building things with our hands. So back in my college days, I used to participate a lot in robotics and in electronics. And for that, I used to borrow a lot of money from my friends to go outside and participate in these events. And luckily, we were winning. By God's grace, we were winning, and that thing was boosting our confidence. Year on year, we then started our participation more and more, and I got a very good opportunity to interact with good colleagues there. A lot of learning was there, and a decent ecosystem, to nurture robotics and promote electronics learnings. So finally, in my final year, I was in my dilemma because I got placed in ISRO during my college.
ISRO, yeah.
Yeah. And my family was very happy because they wanted me to go for a government job. And this is what my community, a lot of people understand. Business is very new. In fact, in my generation and in my previous generation, nobody in my relatives has been into business, right?
Yeah.
So it was a tough call. And but yes, getting into entrepreneurship, a lot is linked with my passion around electronics and robotics.
So it started with electronics and robotics. It's been a phenomenal journey, right? You as an individual and the organization has won several awards along the way as well. And which is the one that you're most proud of?
Awards are good, like it is the recognition, the kind of impact we are able to create. And we have won many. A lot of them are linked with the energy efficiency impact. So very recently, we have got awarded for National Energy Conservation Award from President of India.
Brilliant.
And we have been getting this for last 3 years consecutively. And it is given to companies who are able to create a meaningful impact on energy saving or energy conservation. And to come up, to tell you some numbers, we would have shipped almost 1.5 crore ceiling fans so far. And these 1.5 crore ceiling fans are saving close to 3 billion units, because every fan is energy efficient, powered by our revolutionary BLDC motor technology.
Correct.
Every fan consumes roughly 28 watts power to 30 watt, where your traditional fan consumes around 75 to 80 watts power. So, and assuming that every fan is running around, say, 12, 14 hours a day, 300 days a year, you will end up saving 300 billion units annually from these 1.5 crore fans. And to generate that kind of energy, you will need 2 gigawatt power solar plant. And 2 gigawatt power solar plant, any guess how much would be the cost?
I won't have an idea,
Yeah,
but
so roughly 10,000 crore
10,000
you would
crores.
end up spending to set up a 2 gigawatt
So,
plant.
so you're saving an investment that the country would have had to make of setting up a new power plant,
Yeah.
right? Every 2 years, 3 years.
So now, with the kind of run rate we are shipping almost 4 to 5 million fans every year, we are, maybe you can say, every 2 years we are setting up a gigawatt solar plant.
You're literally setting up new power plants
Yeah.
as you are selling more ceiling fans. This is phenomenal. I think you've also had won the award for Champions of Change recognition by the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
In that was 2017.
It was 2017. Very early days.
Early days.
Yeah, we were recognized.
So that brings me to my next question. Why ceiling fans? How did you get into the idea of innovating in the area of ceiling fans, which typically has been a product where we don't know, we have not recognized it for innovation.
Yeah.
And how did that idea come in?
The ceiling fan came very late in our journey. We started into with something different. Back in 2011, when I graduated, we reached out to some of the research colleges because the idea was to get into electronics and robotics, and we were hunting for some projects. So we got into data acquisition systems. Slowly, we interacted with the BARC, ISRO, DRDO, got more projects from the institutes also into motors, into remote data monitoring, into shop floor monitoring. So that's how our initial 3 to 4 years journey begun. And then I would say these were the things we were doing for initial 3 to 4 years. We realized that these things were not super scalable, right? They were projects. There was a wonderful learning. But when we started entrepreneurship journey, we wanted to create a larger impact, to our society, and there was a dissatisfaction somewhere that we are not able to create an impact. We are not able to touch upon millions of lives. This is what we always wanted and always, dreamt of. But we were lucky to identify fan as an opportunity. It was also accidental discovery because we were looking at what we can do in home appliances. What is the gap? And from our technology learnings in motors, in electronics and robotics, where we can apply this technology in appliances. What appliance could be a choice? And over drinks, along with Shibam, he is my co-founder. Over drinks, we accidentally, were saying to each other that you please turn on the fan. He was saying you turn on the fan, and that's how, with that argument, we discovered that why can't we make fan smarter, right? And then we did more deeper study of the industry. This industry is quite old, right? And one of the company you will trace more than 100 years in India.
Right.
And then to our surprise, we got to know that all fans for last many decades have been running on so-called induction motor technology. It is a single phase induction motor, which is quite inefficient to generate the kind of airflow which consumer need. You need only 22 watts power, the mechanical output power. These fans were consuming 75 to 80 watts power. So that was a huge waste of electricity. And we did, then we thought that we have understanding of motors. Why don't we make a POC, a prototype, to prove, and theoretically we realized that we should be able to do that within 28 watts input. With 28 watts input, we should be able to deliver 22 watts mechanical output.
Right.
With that, we build a prototype.
Right.
And it don't took much time, actually take much time to build the POC because of our past learning of 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can call those 4 years of failures because we have failed multiple ideas.
Yeah.
But those learnings are helping us to build this POC much faster. So
Right.
build POC, we tested, we were incubated in our campus during that time.
That was at Sign.
A Sign
in IIT Bombay.
And we had access of laboratories also.
Right.
We tested our product there.
Right.
Published report. And that was a breakthrough that this is a huge difference, 28 watt versus 75 to 80 watts power.
Yeah.
And we were not sure how to go to market, how to market this product. It was a consumer product.
Right.
The bigger challenge next was how to find early consumers who are going to be our early customers. But yes, the product was ready back in 2015, and we were ready with our ceiling fan.
That's great. I'll come to the market side of it, but you mentioned that you used Sign as your facility, IIT Bombay and Sign as a facility. How critical was it to be incubated in an academic institute, right, with the research and the lab testing facilities? How critical was that step of using that infrastructure?
Hardware technologies and deep tech is tough, right? And when we started our journey back in 2011, it was very, very tough, I would say. Not many companies were there, not many examples were there, not many role models were there. Even the ecosystems of investors was also very limited. But I believe that our incubation center and access to those labs helped us because it was a technology project. And to set up facilities to test that fan, that motor would have been very expensive if we,
Yeah.
and as an entrepreneur, you can just make a POC. That's the small money you can arrange from limited funds and make. So that was, good thing that we had access to some of the labs where we tested our electronics, validated our firmware, validated our motors, and tested it compared with the traditional ceiling fan.
Right.
Not only that, we were able to do some reliability analysis of the fan because it was fairly new technology, and people don't expect ceiling fan to fail. It has to pass all tough climate environment or the power quality on the grid.
Right. And you mentioned about getting your first set of customers and also your first round of funding. So your first round of funding came in before or after? Can you explain when did you get your first round of funding versus your customer base?
The idea of ceiling fan was very special. After that first round of funding and the first customers, we with this test report or the test result and the POC, we were fairly confident that this thing can can become big, and this is a product which is being used in every house, and we can fulfill our desire of touching upon millions of life in fan and can create a larger impact on society. So the motivation factor was very high with this product, and with that we rebuild our business model, and we met some of the people in B2B who were dealing with solar, because they were looking for energy efficient products, especially LEDs. But in fan there was an alternate.
Right.
So we pitched them that on your solar, this fan can run 3 times more, right? And on inverters it can run 3 times more longer. And so those were the early adopters. Soon we got to know that people who are running institutes, colleges, hospitals,
Right.
they are using 500,000 fans in every setup.
Right.
So the saving would be phenomenal to them, and it will make sense to them.
So these would be institutions
These
like
institutions.
hospitals and hotels and
Yeah.
these kind of people.
Yeah, and even industries. One of our early adopter was one of the industry in India, like the Gujarat area, Morbi. It is the industry of sanitary wares, and these people use ceiling fans to dry the sanitary ware 24 hours. Right, within 6 months they were getting the ROI. Right,
6 months ROI.
Every fan on a normal usage you are able to save close to 1500 1600 rupees, per fan, and in 2 years time you are able to recover the complete cost of fan. We were offering 3 years warranty, so it was a very good value proposition also from energy point of view. But yes, reaching out to consumer, pitching this value proposition was tough. But in B2B was easier, and we were, in fact, for initial 1 to 2 years we did only B2B.
Right.
And the B2B helped us in fine tune the product. And in B2B the environmental conditions was also very tough.
Right.
In sanitary ware it was a dusty environment, industrial environment, more lightning, power fluctuation, and they are running it 24/7. They are not turning it off.
So it's a continuous duty application,
Yes.
not intermittent use
Yeah,
as
yeah,
much.
yeah. And see, all new technologies take some time to nurture, get stable, get fine tuned. So these B2B partners, they had good patience. It was a win-win scenario. They also wanted BLDC to be successful,
Right.
because it was solving their problem.
Right.
So that way, they also helped us in fine tuning our product. And maybe in 2016, we were super confident that this product will not fail, and we are ready to go to next level now. Now it is right time to go to consumer.
Got it.
And yeah, to even for B2B scale up, we were looking for some funds. So we got fund, initial, close to 100 crore fund we got from Aarti promoter family, from one of our colleague from IIT only, Mirik.
Yeah.
So that fund helped us in setting up the B2B business.
Right.
With
Right.
B2B, we were able to validate a technology, validate from the consumer also, which was the B2B customer. And that was a POC at the business level, not
And-
only the product level.
And Manoj, to your point, the B2B first set of sales that would have happened was you were still incubated at IIT Bombay that time?
So we spent almost 3 years at
In IIT
incubation,
Incubation.
and 3 years were done. That was the limit. We extended it to 4 years. And in 2015, when the idea came, we realized that fan cannot be scaled from incubation center. We were looking for a larger space. So we shifted ourselves to Navi Mumbai. We took
That's
a
when you moved to
little
IIT
larger
Bombay.
facility.
Got it. Got it. And did you have to then duplicate the testing infrastructure, or you continued using existing lab infrastructure at the IIT?
See, after a point in time, the labs which you could find, most of the labs are general purpose labs, right? When you are going more deeper into your own product, you need to build your own specific laboratories, specific test setups.
Right.
So that was all our investment to build our own custom setups,
Right.
which are
So
relevant
that
for
helped you do the initial iterations required to be able to meet these customer expectations.
customer expectation. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. You talked about the infrastructure funding that is required for the labs, and you got some funding from Aarti Industries and other this thing. How difficult was it to get the funding?
See, that was one of the toughest part of our life, because in hardware, the confidence level of people was less, especially the investors. Very less. We would have met. I would give you an example. Raising the fund from Aarti was easier because they knew us for a very long time. Merrick knew us for a very long time, and he had this faith that we will do something better. And also, he himself is passionate about technology. Right? So that token amount and seed fund helped us to take it next level. Right? When we were already at a scale of selling, 2 to 3,000 fans in B2B annually, that was the time we decided now it is time to go next level, go for next level of funding. That time it took us a lot of time. We would have reached out to 50 odd investors.
Right.
Pitched our idea. A lot of them would said us that why you're making fans. Right?
Okay.
So it was not intuitive.
Right.
To expect that a fan company could be a technology company and can create that much impact. It was it's very, very difficult to visualize, because we were looking that thing from a different lens. But for investors, it was very difficult, and not many hardware companies were successful.
Right. These are all private investors.
These were all private
investors. Did you approach the government for funding at any point of time, or were there any kind of incentive schemes in place because you were trying to drive energy efficiency?
I think our time we were not aware. Maybe such schemes were not very much available back in 2015, 2016.
Right.
And but yes, we were successful. Eventually, we raised fund from Inflexer, that is the deep tech fund, and they had a very high, conviction around the motor technology. Right. More than fan, they were more excited about the motor technology, and they were happy that we are doing something in B2B. At least in B2B, we can scale.
Right.
B2C story was still distant.
Yeah.
But in B2B, we can scale and we can survive as a company. So that was the conviction Inflexer team built, and they invested in us in 2016.
And usually when it comes to innovation, right, you would expect or you would hope for some kind of government support, either in funding, or it could be related to de-risking through providing funds, or even the market side risk. It could be the commercialization risk by going for procurement guarantees or demand aggregation or something like that. Did any of that, like we know that motors, like you had the ESL scheme and the Ujala scheme or something like that, which were there for various product lines. Is that something which was available to you for demand aggregation or procurement guarantees?
There was a demand management plan where procurement was happening by utility electricity companies.
That is it.
They were subsidizing their customers. For example, Tata Power was one of the
Right.
early user
Right.
who pitched in their electricity bill. They were
Right.
publishing that Atomberg products are available, ceiling fan.
Yeah.
And you can buy this at a subsidized rate.
Right.
So that's how some momentum and some benefit we got, but not much actually, because still the energy efficiency was not enough to excite consumers. This is what we learned eventually, and I tell you the story soon. After B2B, we wanted to reach out to consumers, and reaching out to consumer was a very different challenge altogether. We had this channel, e-com channel, Amazon and Flipkart. Through that, we listed our product, and we saw that people are buying the product, right? And then we wanted to understand what they are buying our product for, what feature they are loving. And as the user set increased, we started talking to them, collecting data, and we learned that they are buying fan not for energy efficiency. They are buying it primarily for the remote control feature. Because remote is a feature which we gave in our first generation of ceiling fan.
That was a totally different set of expectations for
Very different expectations
from the market.
But it gave us very different clue, and we learned that consumer in India is not always cost sensitive. They are value sensitive. They have aspirations, and we need to decode their aspiration,
right,
and meet their aspiration by doing right engineering.
So this is an example of not only having a product, but also understanding the product market fit.
Absolutely.
And then tailoring your, one thing is to design the product, the other is to have the product designed to meet a certain customer requirement, and really understanding what your customer requires. Right.
And for that, you have to experiment with customer. I would not experiment, but you have to be very close to customer.
Yeah.
And e-commerce channel gave you that opportunity.
Yes.
Right. So we were trying to understand now. So we understood one fact, that consumer is aspiration. They're looking for smart and efficiency. Efficiency is back in their mind. It is good to have, but not, it was just a wish list. Yeah. Their primary intent was around this, the smartness and aesthetics. Then we learned that aesthetics can create a difference. How we can now leverage BLDC motor technology to come up with a different aesthetics and a form factor. And with that input, we did our research. We realized that energy efficient motors are not heating, right? Ultimately, in traditional motor, it is heat which is dissipated in a big motor, and you cannot touch the fan with the bare hands. It will be very hot, and that high heat limited them to innovate on the design. They were always with the sheet metal and casting and big motor. The reason was they have to deal with that high power loss. In our scenario, we were running very cool, right? And with a low power, we knew that motors are running very cool, right? And motor can be very compact. So we reduced the motor form factor to just half. The diameter reduced to from 200 to just 110, right? So with that, Renesas family was born. That is one of our hero SQ. So we introduced that Renesas motor back in 2018, and it has all electronics integrated. So first time people saw the LED interface at the bottom of the fan, remote control. Even the bottom of the fan was like a different material where you can see the interface, right? It will look more modern, sleek. So that was a new discovery which technology only enabled. So we knew customer aspiration. Right. We experimented on the motor, and we exploited the energy efficiency differently to meet this aspiration of aesthetics and smartness. Right. And that product become hero, and that set up, here
the foundation,
in the consumer's mind.
So this is very interesting that you actually understood the customer's requirement. You added some features to it. The remote control feature was one of them. Where is this going? Your journey on BLDC fans. What new features are you adding? I'm excited to hear about all the new features that you're adding on a product which never had any features.
So every year we are coming up with more and more features, and idea is always to make consumer experience better. Not only in the motor, we are now having all this kind of airfoil blades, which are not sheet metal but injection molded aerodynamic airfoil blades. They are running at very lesser RPM, delivering better airflow and very less noise. right? And on top of it, motor is being integrated with more and more electronics, more and more smartness. We are adding sensors, Wi-Fi, BLE, and all the fans can be controlled from your mobile app. You can see how much saving you are doing. You can remotely control them, and the sleep mode. A lot of different features are there. Underlight fan motors are also there now in the fan, and with that you can have a mood light. And now we are working on more technologies where it can sense the occupancy in the room. So
It
consumer
can
is
sense the occupancy, number of people,
number of
so
people and
sensors.
yeah, sensor. So this sensor can sense occupancy, basically how many members. But more importantly, occupancy alone. Once somebody is entering in a dark room in night, for example, the LED will welcome you,
Okay.
right? And fan will automatically turn on. So all these are wonderful feature
Yeah.
and experience. You know, so you can say that we are gadgetizing. Like we have say gadget, right? Mobile, wearables. So fan is like becoming a gadget to us.
Yeah, you've added some spice to a product which didn't have spice. So this is very really interesting as well. Uh, in order to develop good products, you also require a solid team behind it, right?
Yeah.
So you need a good R&D lab, you need good R&D teams. Um, how what was your initial challenge as you started the company to have a good solid R&D team to be able to deliver a product like this?
Doing research, R&D, engineering was always fascinating, to our core team. And we have been always developing certain technologies to solve tough problems for consumer. And uh, solving, when we say we are a technology company, we want to solve problem. A lot goes in building the right infrastructure.
Mhm.
It is not only the physical infrastructure, but also the team infrastructure, right? So having the right leadership team, having the right structure of team, and then right laboratories, and it is a continuous journey. See, we have aspiration to have a very good lab, but we also ensure that we are at scale only you can afford those, talent
Right.
also,
Right.
those labs also. So it has been a journey. But today, as we speak, we have roughly 350 engineers working in our R&D facility. They are hardcore engineers. In that facility, it would be a large facility close to 1 lakh square feet area, and we do all engineering, simulation, mechanical design, industrial design, motor design, power electronics. So that is a design facility. IoT is also a dedicated team. So I tell you the structure. We call them center of excellence, right? Motor is one center of excellence. IoT, industrial design, which
Right.
is responsible for color, material, finish, design, aesthetics, and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we have a center of excellence, which is testing,
Right.
automation, because we also manufacture our product. We have 2 manufacturing plants now. So when we come up with a new concept, new design, manufacturing of that is also your own problem statement, right? So as we are miniaturizing our motors, the manufacturing is also getting more sophisticated.
Yeah.
So developing those processes, automation and manufacturing, capability is also a center of excellence to us.
Yes.
We call them instrumentation and automation. Then power electronics is definitely one very deep core area. We within our R&D facility, we have all reliability setups, all laboratories, which we dream of when we started our journey. All
Yeah.
of those labs are here. A lot of custom setups we have built in last few years. Yeah, so that's how the team structure is. And
You said you have 350 engineers on a total strength of
total strength of close to 900 to 950 people.
so about 30,
30,
almost
35%,
30%.
yeah.
And if you look at your R&D intensity, which is your R&D expense as a percentage of sales, it would hover
It
around
would be close to 7% as well.
about 7%, which is way above the industry typically spending 1-2%. And so this is it shows in the product as well.
Yeah.
So diversifying into multiple product lines, right? I when I was understanding about what Atomberg is doing, you have going into new product lines and not only doing ceiling fans but new product lines.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about your futuristic product roadmap and how do you even define the roadmap? How do you come to it?
See, one of the fundamental reason why we started the company. There are multiple element to that mission statement. One of the mission statement element is we wanted to make lifestyles of Indian people better with technology.
Right.
This is what we have
Right.
been always doing with our consumer appliances.
Right.
So you will always see that whatever we introduce is not a me too product. It is always something which is conceptualized to solve lifestyle better, to do something existing. Of course, ceiling fans were existing for 100 years, right? But we did it differently because we wanted to definitely serve consumer, give them better experience. Now, fan, we have done a decent job. We experimented where we can go beyond. So mixture grinder, we saw one opportunity. Again, this mixture grinder is also based out of BLDC motor, world's first BLDC motor mixie. Now the BLDC is not solving for energy. People hardly use it for few minutes.
Correct.
It is solving for functionality. You know, traditional mixie were running on universal motor. They were not intelligent. BLDC motors are intelligent. They run on electronics, and they can deliver very high torque at low RPM, right? And we are able to do chopping of vegetables at very low RPM. That is a feature which was not existing in existing mixie. We can grind at very low speed. We call it coarse mode. So when you are doing some chutney making, for example, it will not make chutney of chutney. It will keep it coarse, a silbutta kind of texture you can play. So what we offer to consumer is that more options. They can play with mixie to meet their functional requirement and the taste requirements, right? So this is what BLDC is enabling us, and the machine is more compact, intelligent, more safety. If somebody has not put the jar properly, it will not start. It will indicate to put it properly. So these kind of safety features are making it more intelligent. Then we have introduced cold press. That is also very exciting product. It is getting very popular on e-commerce, right? And then we have water purifiers. Water purifier, again, we wanted to solve a very important problem. You know, most of the water purifier brand, they will call you every year and they will ask you that you need to change your filter. Your filter is expired.
Right.
And they will ask you to pay some 200, 300 bucks, 3,000 bucks, sorry, which is not fair. I think the transparency is missing. And what we have introduced is something called adaptive filtering. So we are able to sense the water quality, and according to the water quality, we are using the filters, right filter, to treat that. Right? If RO is required, then only RO route will be enabled. If RO is not required, RO route will not be enabled. Right? And this is IoT enabled product. You get a life of all the filters on your app.
Right.
And when your filter life is below 20%, then you will get an indication. Like out of these 7-8 filters, only this particular filter needs replacement. So there is a huge transparency and comfort with consumer. So this is on the water purifiers. A new product we are working with, like chimney. It is a very noisy product. So you will soon see that Atomberg chimney running very silent. You know? And so this is on the new product categories, and we are building a smart home product portfolio as well. A smart door lock, a video doorbell.
Smart door locks.
Yeah, they are already there in the market. Video doorbells. So that's how we are populating more and more smart devices. Most of our products are smart and running on our app. So we are building a smart home ecosystem. So that's the end goal. That we really want to ensure that consumer is feeling or experiencing a smart home.
Yeah, it is interesting you mentioned about the mixie, that it's not making a chutney out of chutney, but you actually are really understanding the customer's requirements, and you put those features into the product, which is, so BLDC motor, ideally I would have thought it is going to be for energy efficiency, but here it's not an energy efficiency play. It is more of having better control, right? So that you can have it can cut at lower speed. You can have a cutting application at lower speed. So you're adding features based on the product.
For this user experience in kitchen appliances, we have a team of 10-12 people. They are only doing food engineering. They are only making recipes and experimenting. They are not the product development team. They are only the application development team. Who are working only on recipes and decoding which recipe need what treatment, what ingredient need what treatment. So that kind of depth and obsession is there, not only in myself on the core team, but also in every engineer. That creates a huge difference. So you said that how you maneuver R&D. I think the obsession in the team member is really, really important.
That's great. To your point about the having good R&D teams, right? Do you find it better to attract talent now, which is of that quality, compared to when you started off with? And how do you go about attracting good R&D talent today?
See, life has changed now, and initial days onboarding bright talent abroad would have been very expensive and unaffordable that time. So we had to rely on maybe freshers from colleges. We used to hunt people who are excited about robotics engineering. Of course, the same journey which I had, through the technical competition, and that still we do today also.
Right.
So we see people are passionate about technology. That is first thing. If they're passionate about technology, they will solve it. And second part is solving from first principle is very important. Many times, most of the time, we don't expect somebody that in their previous organization, this is how they were solving the problem. We want to solve them fresh.
Right.
From your own, this is Atomberg, we need to solve from first principle. And most of the problems are the problems which we are solving, somebody solving first time. Right? So you have to better apply a first principle thought process. But now, maybe in last few years, we have been able to onboard very good talent from outside. Indians who are working, say, some of the guys from Tesla, Apple, Honda in Japan, right? And as we speak, we are also interviewing some people from Dyson. Those guys are super excited to work with Atomberg, and interact with us, and they feel connected because it is also tech space they want to be in. So it is much easier than before, for sure.
Right. You have actually ramped up in a big way as well, right? It's not, I mean, you started off with 500 units of fans being sold in the beginning, right? And now I think you are talking about 1 million units per month.
So roughly 4 lakhs, so 0.4 to 0.5 million units per month. And we are already at a run rate of 5 million fans annually.
5 million per year. So how has that journey been? Because you started off being an innovator, and now you are literally getting into mass manufacturing. How has that journey been from a capacity expansion perspective? And did you get funded well along the journey? And did you take advantage of any government schemes for that as well?
Funding was always have been difficult for us, and we always been very lean on spending, lean on building the team also, and lean on the manufacturing capabilities also. So we have always lived in constraint, right? That's how we build the company, and I think it was good to build a company in a lean way with constraints. So initial first facility was in Navi Mumbai, very small plant, maybe 3,000 square feet area. From there, we were able to build 10,000 fans a month. That was completely designed by our team.
Right.
And our engineers, R&D team engineers were kind of supervisors on the line, right? Then we build our team. We had contractual workforce. We build a larger plant. Again, now it got exhausted with 1 lakh units a month. Then we took a bigger call that it is not going to solve that way. We need to take a bigger call now and build a bigger plant. So we set up this manufacturing plant in Pune. It is roughly 8-acre area plant, and roughly 2,500 operators are working from there today.
Very great.
And from that plant, we are producing almost 5 million units.
5 million, yeah.
So this is the scale we have achieved. But again, it was a journey, and step by step, there was no shortcut. It was a journey, and 2 years back, we set up one more factory. That factory is primarily for motors.
Right.
We are now manufacturing our electronic parts also in-house.
And again, one, of course, is the capacity related expansion, the challenges related to hiring, challenges related to this. How much has been the dependency on imports for components? And have you localized all the components that goes into the product? Is it 100% localized, or there is still dependency on imports?
So one thing we are not able to reduce our dependency, that part is
Magnets.
Right? So we have been using anti-FUV magnets, these rare earth magnets in our fans. But rest other parts, for example, injection molding we are doing in-house, electronic manufacturing again in-house, whole motor is being manufactured in-house. And then we have local supply of die casting, machine. So that vendor ecosystem is already there.
Right.
But anti-FUV dependency also we want to mitigate in future. And this year we were able to manage because of this geopolitical scenario happened in month of April. It was tough, to import those rare earth magnets from China. So now we are participating in government initiatives where they have set up center of excellence around rare earth. So we are part of that journey and we want to solve. We have rare earth available in India, but yes, we need to work hard on decoding the process required to convert them into a meaningful magnet and usable magnet. On top of it, we are working on new grades of magnet where our dependency on rare earth is less. Right? So there are certain technology. I think this year only we reduce our dependency to just 50%.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
we are going
Okay.
to bonded ferrites and bonded samarium ferrite nitrogen. There are certain more technologies which we believe would be good for us and
Right,
de-risk our
right.
supply chain from
Excellent.
China. Yeah.
Excellent. I think that's sometimes the adversity creates these opportunities. So the supply chain, getting more independent and self-resilient is also critical
I think
component.
we see that event in April as an opportunity. You know, many times we have to anyways become self-reliant
Yeah.
as a nation. So it brought the right momentum.
Again, we're kind of getting towards the end of the discussion, but uh, how long does it typically, from my understanding, how long does it take typically to design the motor? And have you actually worked on initiatives to reduce that cycle time of reducing the lead time to design a motor?
See, the first prototype back in 2015, it took us 6 months time.
6 months.
6 months time. First BLDC prototype.
Okay.
That was back in IIT, you know. And again, after learning of data acquisition, motor design for initial 4 years, after that we took almost 6 months time to make the first prototype of our motor.
Correct.
You know, and now last year, you know, we set up. We have done a lot of capability building in last 2 to 3 years. We have our own wire cutting machines, lathe machines. You know,
So you don't need to send your samples building outside,
yeah.
no iterations. You have your wire cutting machines inside.
Yeah. And 3D printers, very good quality 3D printers. So our engineers, so I gave this challenge to my team almost few months back, 7 8 months back, that can we build a motor in 12 hours, 12 hours, not 12 days,
12 hours.
right? So it was a small motor for one of the application in solar tracker. So they took that challenge. You know, the engineers did simulation, and we are super dependent on simulation tool now. We don't do much iteration. We do a lot of iteration simulation. The guys did simulation. They release the CAD files for machining down the floor. The prototyping team wire cut, block machined, 3D printed the insulator and all those things. Our machine do the winding. Again, in the same research park, we have innovation center, and we have dyno set up. The tests were done. Motor was assembled. Test was done. Reports were published. It was approved, and the design was released for tooling just in 8.5 hours.
8.5 hours against your 12-hour target.
Yeah.
And compared to a 6 month before.
So these are the capability building, and not only in motors, we have been building these capabilities in many other areas.
Excellent. I think I don't know what the best in class is, but that's phenomenal. And I'm curious also to understand, if you look at your journey,
Yeah.
right, from how you have taken from the very beginning as an entrepreneur and taken the organization to where it stands today, it all happens in 9-10 years. Is that fair to say?
Yeah,
9-10 years.
Consumer business, we are in last 10 years, 9
And
years.
so are there learnings across the sectors for young entrepreneurs that you would like to leave a message for, right, through our program here? And what can young entrepreneurs and innovators learn from your experience?
The deep tech is going to be tough, right? That is, everybody understand it, and it will definitely demand a lot of patience, you know. And during the journey, you will encounter many failures. They are inevitable. So when failures are happening, all you can do is that you can try to fail fast. That will save you money and time. And to do fail fast, you reach out to right, prototyping, do faster prototyping, utilize, access the infrastructure around you for testing of those POCs, if it is a hardware product, and try to fail fast. And so that is one advice I would give. Second is raising fund would definitely be more challenging. But yes, go slow. Like for example, ceiling fan was a huge space to us. Incumbents are there for last many years, but we found a niche. We found B2B. So it is very important that you find some early adopters or early customers to start with. Only satisfy need of that small niche. Get your foot in the game first.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that is really, really important. And survive.
Right.
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 If you are jumping, trying to take shortcut and move fast, you will not survive. Right. Survival is very important. Right. And the way to survive is that you identify small niche, establish yourself. It could be a small play. Once you are in the game, you will understand the industry much better, and then you leverage your technology, your passion, and move fast. So this is my biggest advice. This is what my experience have been.
That's a great story, and
Yeah.
you've now got what, 10% market share
It
in,
is
in the ceiling fan industry.
it is 10% market share. Yeah, roughly 1,200 crore run rate we are having. Roughly 12,000 crore is the overall market size. So 10%.
Yeah, so 1,200 crores revenue this year.
Yeah.
And you've now gone to 15 million customers from just you started off with 500 customers. So it's a phenomenal growth story. And well, I think I would like to conclude on that note that you've done a phenomenal job. No wonder there is a recognition from the president on the national energy conservation.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that, and congratulations on effort. And thank you for coming down for this podcast today and being a part of this session.
Thank you, Sheel. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.